Oh yeah, I got my chip lick wicked still, man. And yo, like, and I even made a song and I said like, born wickeder than dead.
Yeah. Welcome to the Honey Pot Show. I'm your host, the Stinger Honi B. This is our very first episode, and I'm so excited to have as my very first guest, Kareem Dawkins. At age 10, he set the record as the youngest artist in Jamaica to have a hit song with Poverty. Decades later, and with many hits under his belt, like Stookie, Room Ram, Never Know the Use of Our, One Drop, and I could go on, but we don't have all day. QQ's impact on reggae and dancehall is undeniable. From Marvelly to sharing the stage with superstars like Rihanna, Missy Elliott, Chris Brown, he remains grounded. Intelligent, and boy, I can't whine too. Welcome, QQ.
Hey, wagwan. Money.
Yes, it's so good to have you on the show as my first guest.
Mm-hmm. I'm happy to be your first.
Thank you. Yes, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm doing fine. I'm excited to start this journey, and just hope it goes well. Or if it doesn't, whatever. Life is about trying things, and
Yeah, and ain't nothing wrong with trying something new.
that is it. Excellent. Yes. So last year you celebrated a milestone, 20 years in the industry. Congratulations.
Thank
I want Wally time that
you. Whole heap of work too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
I mean, it's a phenomenal feeling. 2 decades, it means that I'm really old.
Me not join the argument that when you know that all something there.
But no, it's a good feeling. I've learned so much within that 2 decades. Like, just like you say, you try something new. I've tried a lot of things, and I'll tell you this: most of the things I've tried failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the things I've tried failed. I probably had more songs that never gonna win than songs that went somewhere. So it's just about keep working and keep evolving and stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
It's a part of the game, right?
It is.
I read somewhere that you said you want to be one of those artists who never stops making music. Do you still want to do that?
Yeah, of course. Like even though I probably haven't released anything in a minute now, but I have so much new songs.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I just met the song and listen to it.
Which is in a lot of ways therapy, artist therapy, right?
It is, and it kind of you listen to it and you critique even yourself, because I'm my harshest critique. Like you listen to this and I said, no man, you're not ready for this right now.
Yeah.
Where the dancehall, like I will be that way, and like people hear it and be like, yo, this boy, that's this dancehall. I'm like, now come out of the company.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, especially you mentioned where dancehall is right now, in comparison to when you started 20 years ago. How do you feel about the evolution? Do you like where it's gotten to?
I'm not one that ever critiques music in a bad way, because I feel like the creative process in itself is never a bad thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You show your talent, you be creative however you are. You know what I'm saying? What if a man only know how to make gunman lyrics? Then that's his thing. If you know how to make girl song, that's your thing. You know what I mean? So I don't ever critique people's work or anything in a bad way. I think music, evolves. Every day it's a cycle, and people 20 years ago would say, oh, the music them time they did better. It's always gonna be that way. The kids now, 20 years from now, are gonna say, oh, I think that they said better.
Exactly.
They're gonna say that.
Because, to me, 90s music is so sweet, right? But back in them time, the people never did think that.
Yeah.
They was like, what is this stuff?
Mm-hmm. And people like maybe my granny would be like, oh, I didn't slack this day in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
So it's really just a cycle. It evolves, and I mean, it gets back to where it needs to be.
So we were talking earlier, and you were saying you're coming from the studio. You're working on something fresh.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake of the popular TikTok.
Yeah, so that popular TikTok sound that I've been hearing, somebody sent me the rhythm. I'm like, oh, that's the rhythm. I'm like, light already, man. So I was like, yeah, man, nice studio. I was gonna jump on it.
Yeah. What do you think of the remix of "Shake It to the Max"?
Well, I just heard it fully for the first time.
We just played it for you.
And me love it.
Yes,
love it.
Skilly Bang Shensia.
Yes, Skilly Shensia, and what's her name?
Her name is Moi. Oily.
I've been hearing the sound so much on TikTok, especially since remix come out, the Skilly Man part. But now that I've actually seen the video, I love the video.
Yeah.
First and foremost, like the video, A1.
Not a video shot.
So I love the remix, and then even that version with Steph London when here.
Listen, that's fire too.
Yeah,
It's competition, stiff.
Tough.
Pause.
Us, a lot of artists, still relevant today.
Yeah.
Body of work and stage performance, then wouldn't that be maybe Bounty? Bust the most artists, still have a body of work, stage performance, and I mean,
That's what somebody said. I think it was Kipridge, big up Kipridge. I think Kipridge did say that as well.
Yeah.
And I don't disagree. However,
yeah,
I don't agree either. Like, for me, it's sort of like, I think Bounty is awesome. And in fact, I think Bounty is one of the greatest
yeah,
dancehall artists of all time.
right,
But if we were to choose a king in terms of, okay, fine, let me put something else in there. Impact impact on a global stage and the ability to sell out arenas. Do you think Bounty could put on a show like Freedom Street
right.
and
Well,
get all this?
but then that's a whole different conversation because now we're talking about sell out a stadium, right? One, you have to remember 13 years absence,
True.
right? First show, right? So obviously, you're gonna and the most dominant artist before he went into prison
Right.
and while being in prison. Of course, he's gonna be able to do that when he comes out, right? Bounty, on the other hand, he's outside every night.
He's always been here.
He's always been there.
Just got
People
his
see
visa
him.
back, by the
Just
way.
got
Big
his
up
visa, big
Bounty.
him up. Every night, people can see him outside.
True.
So, not that people don't want to see him, but that demand and that anxiousness to see him is not going to be as much as wanting to see Vibes, right? So it's hard to
It's hard to
do
compare
that.
because
look at numbers too. Cartel is probably doing more numbers than him.
yeah, he's the most streamed artist on Spotify, dancehall artist in Jamaica, up from 2024.
in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Okay, and then overall listenership, who would have it? Well, obviously we're not talking about Sean
yeah.
Paul, Shaggy, and them.
Yeah, them the people that are like out of this world, okay?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Talking about billions. All right. Pick up to Sean Paul and Shaggy, which those people have also been thrown into the King
Right.
pool. So I suppose then it's Bounty Killer then.
Yeah, I might have to go with everything you say. Yeah.
Yeah, Bounty? All right. Okay. All right. Next question. What is your biggest flaw or shortcoming?
What's my biggest flaw? Shortcoming.
Can I pour you some coconut water?
I think you
Next
should.
time?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay, let's do that.
This is a good time to pour me some.
Yeah, because that's an actual deep question that you have to think about. Because some people I think them have no flour, no shot. Come in there, no.
I think my shortcoming would be Jesus, please.
Are you just gonna eat? Okay. How is it?
Very spicy.
But you can't
Yeah,
late.
finish it, right?
Yes, that's the thing. You gotta finish it. Oh snap! I gotta eat with you. Forgot that part.
Let's go. I walk long man, how am I sure go there?
These are good, Chef Bling.
Big up Chef Bling. My God.
Yeah. They could definitely be hotter though. Yeah, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, cause if me, I manage it, then and you like spicy food,
You manage like a lot of hot things.
I wouldn't say that. Anyways, the chef is recommending that we use the sauce next. I know one ingredient in it is honey, right?
Oh, there's honey in it?
Yeah, there's honey in it. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, it's really thick. Look at that. It's the good stuff.
There.
Oh, wow. Just really gotta... Oh, that is sweet. Oh my God, it's so good. Listen, he just made this on the spot with just stuff in my kitchen. Okay?
And you just watch him?
I didn't watch him, but
You never helped?
me kind of busy. I wait for you for reach and everything. But this is so delicious. Nah, man. Oh wow! Look, I messed myself up.
Ooh.
Oh no.
I'm getting
Oh, it's okay. Thank you. Got it. But yeah, them two nice, chef. Why did your last relationship end? And don't tell me something about, oh, it wasn't the right timing and work and this and that. Like, sick and tired of hearing that crap.
Person said they were tired.
Then they tired of you?
Like tired of it not growing more than they wanted to.
So we can not grow QQ?
I mean, I stopped growing from about 16.
What's your height?
5'5".
I'm taller than you. I'm 5'6".
Alright.
Choo-choo. Yes. Telling us somebody. Okay, cool. So they were just tired of being stagnant.
Yeah, them say the relationship now grow, so them say them not gonna start, I guess, whatever with this. So
Like a new year, like a new chapter of their life.
New chapter, whatever.
Dragging you along with them.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you felt like things weren't progressing, or was it okay for you?
I guess I was content. Yeah, I guess I was content. I've learned to accept certain things. You know what I mean?
What does that mean?
Like in the sense that, you know, when you've, like, you know, been in a relationship before and you see how things can be, like, personally, I don't mind somebody being my friend, and if we dibble dabble on things, we just
Friends
keep
with
it on,
benefits?
right? We just keep it on a level, because I realize that sometimes, you know, rushing into certain things or going into certain things, you know what I mean, when both parties are not ready or not on the same page, you end up turning enemies, and you can't believe this is the person that you were so close to, you know. So
I gotta say, I agree with that. But when was the last time you rushed into something?
rush.
Yeah, like because you know you're
From
saying like
15,
when
when I reach back to that point.
you know that I find that so interesting, the difference between men and women, right?
Yeah.
Like I find with women, it's easier for us to, I'm not gonna say bounce back, but to open our hearts again.
Yeah.
I think based on what I've observed with men,
Yeah.
once they get burnt, like
We'll
the
burn.
right way,
We'll burn up.
uno just scarred, uno just burn up, uno just bleed over everybody else, uno no plan for sitting heal, no look at nothing, like.
No, but yeah, then you have to think about the times that we're living in now. You know what I
Talk to
mean?
me about those times.
Well, we think about the times, like the other day I was at the studio, you know, last time I was in Jamaica and I chill out, and, you know, about 4 girls come to the studio and, you know what I mean, just there, my vibe, you know what I mean, because I love when no man come around, I love women.
Oh, you like to have
Yeah.
women like
So,
at the
I like when
studio,
women just come
inspiring
and-
to you.
Yeah.
They were fit women.
Yeah, music put on and then probably a wine and I do them thing and it motivate.
Wait, I thought that only happened in the movies. I didn't know that was real life. So as an artist, you're in the studio recording and women are just there whining?
Yeah,
Yo, that's
you know,
tough.
because it motivates you.
I feel like I need to come to the studio more often.
Oh, yeah?
Just to observe.
Oh,
Yeah, I like to research. Continue.
So, you know, I'm there and thing, and there was a debate. Like the girls were just there saying like, which one of them wickeder? Like me are the wickeder girl out of you?
You mean in terms of whining or?
No, in terms of what them do to man.
Oh, wow.
So, me just there and like, I think to myself, I say, so the less wickeder one,
It's less favorable, is it?
right? But then it's just like the way everybody was reacting. I said, John was starting. The girl said, "I want your good girl days done." And I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah."
That's crazy to me. And I feel like that's more Gen Z.
Yeah.
I feel like people our age
Yeah.
are just here looking out at the world and saying, what are you doing?
You know, my father did always tell me from where I grew up. He said, when you're ready for settle, always settle with an older woman. She's been there and done that and experienced things.
No, it's so true. I have to agree with your dad in that regard, because honestly, I think the younger women nowadays, and I don't have anything against you guys or the hustle, your grind, whatever it is that you're doing,
Yeah.
they've just sort of made it bad for everybody, like
But then
across
you know
the board.
But then my father, who tell me, oh, well, you know what? Him say settle. Because I paid 25 and
Of
28
course,
year old.
of course, because you want the youngest. You want to get the fittest and the youngest from the crop.
He wants to have fun.
And you know what you know what that means for humanity? We're gonna go extinct, QQ.
Well, not with my father.
How many more children does he have?
I mean, I'm just the first one.
How many siblings do you have?
Like, we're talking about the ones that, like, have our name and everything.
Yes.
About 10.
What about the ones who don't have your name?
Well, we can't call them.
Okay, very well.
He probably killed me.
But But the reason why I'm saying that too is I don't know if you know, but the birth rate in Jamaica is low. Sperm count too.
Very low.
I did see a research where they took a sample from some Jamaican men and it nah.
Oh no?
Sorry.
Them.
You live in the States.
No, but they are talking about them now. No.
But I mean, you have one child, QQ, and at your age, back in the day,
Yeah.
a man would have probably already gone
I mean, but
7, 8, 9.
Because
Especially a dancehall artist.
My dad had about 7.
Your day.
Yeah, but you know what it is? It's just the changes, being
Yeah.
responsible. Now, when you think about it, do you want to make a mistake and breed a wicked girl? You might have a wicked child.
Next question: have you ever been told by a woman that you need to work on your lovemaking skills?
Oh yeah, I have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you take that?
I took it no way. My level of passion is different.
What is the level
It-
from
it's-
1 to 10?
No. As in, it's different with, who.
Different people.
Yeah, in terms of like, what if this is a girl that I feel very passionate about? I've been with her for quite a while. Then my passion with her is gonna be different. If it's just a girl where I'm probably, not have no woman I know, I just have a new girl.
Yeah.
She's fresh to me. I'm not gonna really be so passionate about her.
Got
so,
it.
I might give her a 1.
What do you think is determined by this passion of yours? Is it the sort of thing that you think happens instantaneously, or is it like over time until you get to know somebody and you bond emotionally, or mentally?
Yeah, it's that mental bond, the emotional.
So you're
bond.
a sapiosexual.
Yeah,
you like
and
to.
also, the conversations that we have, it have stimulate my heaven.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And let me see how spontaneous she is too. Like, I don't like bedroom.
Oh, okay. You just sleep there. It's just for sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the stupid person who will go pull up in front of the police station. Like,
Oh, the police station, because
This
you
me.
like jail.
No, I like to be risky.
Have you ever been caught out in public?
No, not that I can
Gallivanting in
recall.
that way,
I've seen somebody pass one time and just smile and I just smile back.
and you just continued.
I mean, that's their business.
That's their business.
smile.
You're just minding your own.
Yeah.
What's the story of your wildest fan encounter? I did read something somewhere where you said some women came at you and was touching you and.
Oh yeah, that come like common assault. 20 years in music, like I've been on stage before, like just at the Stucky, and a girl I say, but it come like me not see him thing. Wait, it lasts,
serious?
My pants are tight. I'm not see like
just
am I
grabs you?
gonna be on stage and be thinking about something to happen?
Yeah.
Like Jerry said, me I unwind right now.
Exactly.
But
That's
then
assault.
I mean.
I'm so sorry for all you've had to endure. But it's your fault too. Like,
How is it my fault?
Your waistline.
I mean,
Like I kid you not,
that-
you can whine better than I can.
No,
and I
no,
used to
stop
be
that.
wicked back in the
Stop
days. No business
that.
don't want to say it's true. Check my files at UE.
but can't wine better than no, but
QQ.
yeah, it's out.
Now you're being so modest.
No, but that's true. But that's true.
Oh
No,
my God.
definitely, man. Yeah, girls have grabbed me and just.
Yeah. Have you ever sort of indulged in?
I mean, being the individual I am, I probably play it off.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna ever get rowdy like, yo, you can't do that,
Yeah.
because you understand interacting with the public,
Right.
their reaction maybe. I said, I just play, no worry about it. Laugh, man. Yeah.
But then do you go home and think about it and say to yourself, why?
I mean, not crying as long as a woman grab off of me. No, sir.
It's all good. It's all good in the
Not
neighborhood. All right, final question for this segment. You don't perform a lot in Jamaica. Is that by design? Is that your choice or?
No, not that is by design or my choice. I think it's a combination of things where, one, I've probably set a standard for myself in terms of like, I have a fee. Some people might say, oh, well, me not think him worth that, and that's fine. It's their business decision,
Yeah.
but I stick to my guns.
So how much are you, like 20 million? just asking for a friend.
No.
They're putting on a show.
No, it's not that excessive, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But I would have to ask my agent, like, what's my cost right now?
Yeah, you don't deal with that side of things.
Yeah,
do you?
because sometimes I'll be like, yo, Adrian, somebody want to book me in Canada, but they're saying they have this. Like, is that what I'm going for right now? And he's like, no, you crazy. I was like, oh, all right.
And
I'm gonna let
then,
them call you.
wow.
Because, you know what I mean?
So are you just like totally rich?
If I'm what?
Totally rich. That's a question.
Like-
you can decide to eat or answer.
Rich in what?
I don't know.
In money.
You know, Bob Marley
I mean,
did say.
yeah.
You understand?
I mean, I'm rich in life. I don't think money make you rich. I
CMT.
made a lot of money.
Is things
I've
make you
wasted
rich?
a lot of money.
Waste a lot of money on women.
I tell that story.
Yes.
I tell people the wicked girl.
Wow. So you were in love? Oh gosh, I'm so sorry, Q.
But I'm fine. Say,
Yeah. Cause you were pretty young.
Yeah, I was young. But oh yeah, I got my chip lick wicked still, man. And yo, like, and I even made a song and I said like, born wickeder than death.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because death you have closure, you come to terms with it.
You'll come to terms. Oh,
Yeah.
you mean like somebody dying?
Yeah, you
like
come
that,
to terms
okay,
with it.
cool,
Like,
yeah.
yo, Janua, you're
Yeah.
not gonna see them again. Born, you know, it happens to you, and first thing, your belly bottom feel empty.
Like you haven't eaten
Like,
forever.
no, I have a feel so like,
Yeah.
and then you start. That's the only time you actually sit down and reason with God. Only time in your life, because you ask God, why me?
Yeah.
What me do?
Yeah.
You know, like, you know,
Yeah.
I have a good little conversation
Yeah.
with God. God now answer you still, but you just there. I said, Jano, and then you go lay down.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You just feel so tired, even though you just wake up.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean? And then you see a brethren them and you feel like idiot. And then to make it worse, you're who you are, and you're like, Jano's tired. I'm for them QQ at this. And I say, you know what I mean?
So what happened, Q? That's what I want to get to.
I'm not talking about it. We keep that.
Look, I'm Western. Yeah, wait for the story time. Huh?
But no, me never recover.
I was so excited. But this was somebody that you really cared for.
Yeah. She licked my chip, she break me heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was it with a friend of yours?
Mm-mm.
Somebody she said was a relative.
Woman love her uncle and cousin. You get them?
I mean, if you have an uncle, you just have an uncle. I don't know if you
No.
mean.
So, oh yeah, your uncle there.
There's no way you're dating with your uncle. And your uncle can't date.
But boy,
Pause.
the woman, one thing I know though,
Yeah.
I love the person I am today. I've learned to accept certain things.
What does that mean? Does that mean that you're not as trusting? Does that mean that you just...
No, I'm not as trusted, but you know how you learn to accept bond, just like how you accept death. You have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, men. There's a culture in Jamaica where men feel as if they own women.
True.
Me no want none.
Mm-hmm. So you accept that either way you're gonna get born in a life.
How when I get born, me just tell myself me I get
So yeah,
born.
really? But isn't that a little paranoid? Is that a good way to live?
Naturally, as an artist, you have to be paranoid. Artists work with 300 man.
Right. Well, and your entourage is, you know, it's a little, a little transparent.
Transparent, right? Me, I don't even like crowd like that.
Yeah.
Like me tell you, woman, me love woman company. Like me just like see a woman we can look on her and I say, yo, let's go drive some. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Got you.
Me can't bother with the one bag of man thing. You see me I say, if me there and the whole out there with brethren and be a man there, I say, oh, the ends look so it look pale, man.
Yeah, bring some women and them come
Put your
wine.
ends, man.
It's crazy. I can't believe women do that. Or show up and wine.
Yeah, them come and try them.
How much do you pay them to do that?
Them just want to come have fun. Them don't want to get paid.
Yeah, I would want to get paid.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to go to the honey pot?
Yeah, me could test it.
Yeah. Okay, so in the honey pot, you know, sometimes things are sticky, sometimes they're sweet. Yeah? So it's just, this is sometimes some scenarios, some questions, and we can continue eating because these wings are so good, Chef Bling. Like, no, and this sauce, isn't it great?
Yeah, it is.
Or what are we gonna call it? The honey dip sauce? Yeah, we're gonna have a signature sauce for the show. Okay. So, this, yeah, sure, you can, we're not even eating that quickly. What's up? I eat pretty fancy.
Yeah.
But these are really good wings.
Come and answer everything, but
Yeah, man. But I
Get to
like
the
that.
hot pot.
I like that. I like that you're relaxed and that we're getting to know QQ more because you don't do a lot of interviews.
yeah.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's funny. People always say, "Oh, yeah, that's nothing to me." I feel like I've done so much in 20 years, and now I'm a little bit too relaxed.
no, but you see, 20 years is a long time to be in the industry. You know, Spice recently celebrated 25 years. What would you say is the thing that keeps you grounded?
Family, God. I'm a firm believer in God. My father is I thought he was the strictest person growing up. Like he was just.
He kept you in line.
But now I realize that it's just that discipline, and it works.
Big up to your dad, for real, because he's a true example of a great father, and I can imagine that's where you probably got your inspiration from to be
for sure.
the hands-on dad that you are. Tell us a little bit about Kyrie.
Oh God, he's amazing. My son is amazing. And what's so amazing about it is I see things in him that and I realize I used to do them. So even the things that annoy me, I'm like, oh shoot, that's what I was doing with my heart. Yo, I'm calling and he's playing Roblox and he's like, I'm not answering the phone. I'm not stopping, and then I just shut down the computer. Or shut down the phone, and then call him. He's like, hello. I'm like, didn't you see me calling? He's like, oh, yeah, I just saw it. I'm like, but I know you saw it. He's like, oh, I was playing Roblox with my friend. I'm like, but answer me, It's like, okay. But when I call you, I never get you. I'm like, what do you mean? You always get me. He's like, yeah, but I called you one day, and he's just using that one day.
One day.
One day. I was like, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
But then you kind of realize, it's so fun. A very bright kid.
Yeah.
Love that about him. I believe in education.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
he lives overseas.
Yeah, he lives in Florida.
He lives with his mom.
Yep.
Do you guys have a good relationship,
His mom
co-parenting?
and I, yeah, we're cool.
Yeah, can one
She
of
annoys me
the.
sometimes, but
Well,
I'm pretty
how?
sure I annoy her more.
Yeah. How are you annoying?
I mean, just me being me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being human. I'm sure she probably like calling me, and I'm just like, what is she calling me for? Like, hello.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, I'm dropping Kyrie off to your mom. I was like, okay.
You're like, why do I need to know that?
Yeah.
No, it's just like keeping.
And I'm calling her too, to be like, hey, Kyrie school messaged me. Did you see what they sent home? And she's not answering. I'm like, then I call Kyrie, and I'm like, Kyrie, where's your mom? She's like, beside me. Did you see me calling? She's like, yeah, but I know what you're calling about. Like, yeah, but I need to know.
I think that's cute though.
Yeah, really?
Is it? Yeah, saying you guys gotta do what you gotta do. You got a kid, okay? Let's talk a little bit about your grandma.
Oh boy.
So I saw your post on Instagram, and I was really taken aback by it, because usually you don't share so much of yourself. Yeah, you're kind of private. Am I right? Yeah. And you shared a clip of your dad, a voice note from your dad. And I thought it was so touching, talking about just how your grandma saved you and how she's been there for you throughout the years, and you just dealing with her passing now.
Yeah.
Why was it important for you to share that?
So, the bond and relationship that I have with my grandma is so special.
Yeah.
In the sense that, from the clip you heard, obviously they wanted to abort me, and no blame to my parents. They were young people, right? Mother and father, very young, confused with what to do. She decided, no, let him come, like, bring this baby come. From I was born, I've pretty much lived with my grandma.
Yeah.
My mother was there, my father was there, but my father was always the one that goes to the road, do what I have to do. My mother is there, but at a young age, my mom and dad went their separate ways. The bond that I had with my grandma, I was like, hey, I'm staying. I want to stay with my dad and my grandma, right? And sometimes people get it wrong, thinking, oh, your mother up and left you, but she was not in the financial position, but my dad was.
Right.
So why would you take two children, because she had a child before, right? To go through the struggle. Why not leave him with the parent who's doing better off?
Yeah.
And that's what she did. Best decision I think she made. Why would you bring him into struggle?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So ever since that, I've been with my grandma. We were in Marvelly at that time, when she would go wash people clothes, because that's what she used to do for a living, to make her money, wash people dirty clothes.
Yeah.
She would take me with her. Instead I give she a sandwich. Oh, just give me grandson. And I mean, that type of bond is what we had. Church, every Sunday, grandma bring me, like literally I was everywhere my grandmother went. You know what I mean? So we've had this bond ever since that. It's like she was my mother.
Yeah.
Right? So I just thought, like, I've never had anybody this close to me that died. My other grandma died, but I was so young to really understand the depth of everything. And I was also close to her. So I think this, was the first shocker I've ever had in my life. And it's just one of them things, like, every day you deal with it more and more and more, and you're like, Jano.
She's not here. She's not here anymore. But she lives on through you. You're her legacy. I mean, listen, her place in your life is always gonna be precious.
Trust me.
Always gonna be precious. I saw you put up a clip, the grave digging in St. Elizabeth. Yeah. You guys are down there.
Yeah. We did the grave digging on Sunday, and people just came out. They were eating food, drinking the rum.
Nice.
Listen, you can't drink rum.
Listen, hey yo.
But it was so nice to see so much people come out for her. Wanting to lend their hand and get the support. Yo, it was amazing.
That's a beautiful thing, and I'm sure it's gonna be a lovely service.
Yeah.
It's the 23rd of March.
Yeah, it is the 23rd, and I'm gonna have to go up on stage and do.
I'm sure you're gonna do great. You're gonna sing?
No. I would never sing at my grandmother's funeral.
What did she think of your music? Especially the later ones, because nowadays, that bad, a bass tinsel and stuff, you are sing both, You know what I mean?
Funny enough, so my grandmother, she adored anything I did, right?
That's love.
She would not listen to my newer music because she had a curse on them. She said, Karima, you with that?
You're like, no.
I'd be like, I want a new song, grandma, but change that, man. You know what I mean? She said, so no go out and start smelling no breathe. At this point, I'm a big man. But she adored my music. She would hear something on the radio. I say, that's all I carry him. Yeah, carry him that. And they're like, no, I don't carry him. She's like, oh, okay. So nice though. But everything she hear on the radio, I carry him.
That's so
adores
sweet.
me.
So sweet.
But yeah, man, she loved it. She loved the music. She adores me, man. And it's so funny when she passed, and I posted her. Somebody posted up, was like, yo, she would always talk about you. Like, she would come to the shop or come to the store and be like, yeah, my grandson sent me money and things. Take care of me. And we're always just talking. I was just like, wow.
Sweet. She lived a full life.
Yep.
That is it. Big up grandma. Rest in peace.
Yep.
All right, so I'm just gonna go into the honey pot for a little bit, see what we got going in here. It's just I think I know the answer to this one. Who in your life has added the most sweetness to your journey?
Added, Kyrie.
Yeah, I thought for sure Kyrie or your grandma.
Kyrie.
Yeah.
And it definitely, because you say added,
Yes.
he came after the fact.
Yes.
But my grandmother been there from day one.
From day one. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, what's one sticky situation in your career you wish you handled differently?
So when I was younger, there was a youth named Dada.
Dada.
Right? We had a clash. Well, I suppose a clash. I went about it one way. I wish I had followed my father, and went about it his way. I stayed away from clashes. I didn't want to ever put on that image persona. I thought that as youths, as kids, we shouldn't be engaging in any type of rivalry or competition.
Yeah, you did afraid.
Right? No, I wasn't afraid. Okay. Because funny enough, I did bill out tune and one time even go up on stage and think and like my techie man and think. But then within myself, I didn't feel as if it was me because I was always
just
not
your energy
putting out that type of negativity. But the reason I regret not doing it now is because I feel like when you show that side of you, dancehall is built upon, competition and also showing that you can stand up on your own and hold your own. You know what I mean? Even though we're young, because we're like 12, something. You know what I mean?
12?
Yeah. But I feel like it helps you develop as an
It's so
entertainer.
interesting that you remember that. That means it stuck with you, that moment.
Yeah, because he's a very talented youth.
Yeah.
Even at that time, and I've heard some stuff from him, a few years back. Wicked DJ. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I could also DJ, but I've never really DJ. I always sing J.
Yeah,
'cause I
yeah.
love melodies.
Right.
So I always felt like, that would have shown a different side. Where some
different
people would
side
be
of
like,
it.
yo, take him serious certain way.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's interesting. Yeah. There's certain things that happen to us in our childhood that we'll not forget,
Yeah.
All right. What's the sweetest compliment you've ever received?
I think a girl told me once, I tasted like heaven.
Right.
I thought that was like
Wash off your art. Wash off your
such a
art.
sweet compliment,
So
you know?
coconut water. Wash off your art. Like heaven, man. I wonder how heaven tastes.
Right.
Okay, let's just
Like she's been there before.
Right. Let's just. What's one industry? What's one industry sticky topic that nobody wants to talk about but needs to be addressed? I mean, look one industry as it is, nobody not talk about it, but it's an elephant in the room. It feel like it needs for that one.
Needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of sticky topics, but I don't think none of them need to.
Need to be told. Yeah. But them still in there. But them still sticky over there, so.
Yeah, them not bad at me, so you know about that.
Okay, let me dip in for one last one. Okay. If you could stick to only one project for the next 5 years, what would it be?
One project. Damn.
Because I know you've tried so many different things.
Yeah, I have. Getting an album, a debut album. 20 years, I don't have a debut album.
No, you need for the album. You've got
So, yeah.
a great body of work. Why haven't we done an album?
So, like I said, I'm my biggest critique. I've always felt like an album is something that's delicate and you need to treat it with care, right? I see a lot of artists sometimes just fling out album. But I feel like your album needs to be so strong that it represents you in such a way that you can always speak about the numbers, speak about this, speak about that. And I've always felt like, doing singles, because I've had so many that didn't do well compared to the amount that did well. It probably made me a little bit on the fence about, are they ready for an album, even though they've accepted so many singles? So it's one of those questions.
We're ready. No, we're ready, Q.
And then it's like, what type of album do I do? Do I do the breakout songs, or do I give them a mixture of everything?
Mix
like,
it
you know what I
up.
mean?
You a mixture also. You understand? I know that right now, I feel like, as I said, I feel like your music is very sexual, very sensual.
Right.
But you're also very good at conscious music.
Right.
Dancing song, them your thing, them there.
And it's funny because so much people would say to me, yo, why you don't make more conscious music? I've made more conscious music in my whole career than dancehall.
And you've put them out?
And I've put them out. But that's the thing, like people, they just gravitate to what they gravitate to at the time.
I think early on in your career, you became pretty synonymous with the dancing and people just knew you for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. But listen, one of the beauties I think about an album is people always, like, even if it's a song that you may think is not gonna reach anybody, there are people who's gonna resonate with that one.
I mean, and I learned that the hard way too. My dad and I had a bet on 2 songs.
Yeah.
I released a song called Tip on YouTube again.
Yeah, I remember Tip.
And I had one called Mosquito Neck.
I was just, do you remember that dance?
Yes. And I was so sure Mosquito Neck was a better song
Than Tip.
and would do better than Tip. And my father was so sure that Tip was a better song and would do better. And he won. Like Tip, I've gone so many places, Trinidad, Guyana, all over, and they're just
Tip
like,
wicked.
yo, we love Tip. He bounce. And I'm like, but it's such a simple song. It's just so simple, like,
So this
what is it?
simplicity works.
I'm like, listen to this rhythm.
But Mosquito Net was insane. I was watching it today and I was thinking to myself, we used to dance like that?
Oh, yeah.
Like this, oh gosh, and they were just doing this with their legs. It was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you imagine people doing that dance now, today?
Nah. They would be like,
Yeah, crazy indeed. Well, Q, thank you so much for coming.
Okay.
I enjoyed this interaction immensely.
oh shoot, we're done?
Oh, you didn't want to talk more?
But
No, it's up to you, man.
Because me not get to ask you no question.
I remember you
So
did
wait,
say you go.
let me go and What's one thing you thought you'd never stick to, but ended up loving?
Wow. I'm gonna say radio because I grew up listening to radio.
Okay.
And funny story, I used to think the people were like little tiny people in the radio. Country me grew up, you understand, we never really saw exposed, and we never have no cable TV.
Okay.
I used to have to go up on the house stop, go set the antenna and say, oh, look now! I understand and everything there.
Yeah.
So, my imagination was my world, okay?
Okay.
But I used to listen to radio and it just took me places because radio was more accessible. And I grew up on these really awesome people like Ron Mouchette and Elise Kelly, and may I tell you, a lot of who I am, even as a presenter today, is a combination of them.
Listen.
And I never thought I'd get into radio. I love acting. Acting is my first love.
Oh, okay.
So I always was just like, oh, I want to be an actress. I want to be an actress. But then when I started radio at UE, I started working at Sun City, and at that time, Sun City was literally in a room at the people in the yard. And of course, I was a little afraid, a little timid, and so I never expected. I didn't think I was gonna stick with it for so long, but it has truly become something so sweet and profound in my life. Like it's not even work. You show up there and the microphone opens and you just have flow, and
I see you.
doesn't matter what's going on in your life. You're just in those few moments on air.
You just feel the
You're vibrating so high.
Malone.
So I gotta say that. Yeah. Okay.
Wait, before I ask the next question,
What?
what ended your last relationship?
Jesus Christ, that's not a question. That's not even.
But it is. You did ask me that.
Okay. My last relationship. Wow. That's funny. I tell myself I haven't been in a real relationship for 8 years.
Oh, so you do friends with them?
No, let's just calm down. I'm dating, but these men ain't.
So you've been dating
Stop it
for 8
laughing,
years.
Chef Bling. No, we are laughing. Stop it. No, but you're right. I lived in Japan for 4 years.
Out of the 8?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were dating a Japanese?
Not a Japanese guy, but an American who was living in Japan.
Okay.
And
And we know how that went. Yeah.
yeah, in record.
Yeah.
He was very, very intense.
Yeah.
He
And them jealous of them.
he was Muslim. And yeah, he was a really intense person. He didn't drink, he didn't eat meat. He was intermittently fasting.
Yeah.
He didn't curse. Like he was just so disciplined and just so strict, but he was impressive to me.
Right.
Because he was in Japan chasing his dreams on his own. Like he was an artist manager.
Nice.
And his uncle owned like 4 of the Asian pageants, yet he didn't want any help from anybody. He wanted to do it on his own. And he would just walk around, I'm a king, all the time. And I feel like I get absorbed into people, and I feel like it's a problem.
Okay.
Like for example, if I'm in a relationship and I fall for that person, it's as if I forget myself.
Damn.
And I'm just of service, and it's too much, because then you feel drained at the end of the day, especially if the person isn't pouring back into you as much as you're pouring into them.
Right.
And so my life sort of became all about him. And I couldn't go to bed at night because he demanded a lot. He wanted to talk a lot on the phone because he was living in Tokyo. I was living in the mountains in Fukushima.
Oh, okay.
And we would be on the phone. And at about 1, I'd be like, I got to go to bed because I was working a 9 to 5. I was teaching in Japan. I had to be at work at 8. And he would work through the night and then sleep during the day.
Right.
So I had to try to go to bed at 1, and he would be upset and he'd like, oh, fine, go to bed. But at 5 a.m., kid you not, he would wake me up because that's when he would be going home. And he would talk to me until I get ready for work, and then I go to work.
God.
And then as soon as
That's
he gets,
overwhelming still.
it was so much. I ran out of things to say to him.
Right.
And I had to write notes on my fridge.
Yeah. That's like no space.
I had to write little notes on my fridge of what to say to him. Yeah, it just
The
didn't
past 4
work.
years after that.
Since I've been back to Jamaica, just like, oh my God, the dating scene is really horrible. It's pretty rough. At first I came back and I was a monster. I was like, nah, I don't want a relationship. I'm just focused on myself. I'm so sick and tired of you people.
Man, I
Wicked. And then, you understand? And then eventually I got to a place where I was like, okay, well, look at that. I'm about to be 30 something. I mean, I don't want to be alone forever, but then I've just not had any luck.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now to the question.
Okay, great. Can we,
Sticky or sweet?
Uh-huh.
You get a chance to time travel to your younger self and tell her something, knowing what you know now.
Man, would that be sticky or sweet? I'm a philosopher. I believe that I tend to believe in no regrets. Like, it is what it is. What has happened has happened. If I went back to my younger self, I think it'd be sticky. I don't think she'd listen to me.
Yeah.
First of all, she'd be like, "What?"
You know,
I was very stubborn. Yeah, something like, "What are you even talking about, lady?" Like, because when I was when I was younger, in my early 20s, I believed that love was always around the corner waiting for you. Yeah, I just thought that, hey, like, it doesn't matter, this doesn't work out, it's gonna be another one.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag DJ Khaled. But here we are. Oh, we learned our lesson. Before I dive into this, let me just wrap up. I want to thank you, Q, for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed this conversation immensely. Yes. And one of the things that I want you to do before you go is to write a question for our next guest. Like, you know what I mean? Anything you can think of at any point. Yeah. And I'll let them know for sure it's from QQ. All right?
All right.
And to you
Next
guys.
is a man or woman?
I have no idea yet.
Oh yeah? Better be a woman.
Oh gosh. And to you guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Honeypot channel. And most importantly, keep this to yourself.
From high school, actually. Bling, they used to call me Bling. But when I matriculated to UE, you know, it was all about the place. You know, I used to want everything, entertainment, everything. But I've always liked cooking.
Wow.
I've been studying, you know, flavors, techniques, and, you know, I finally, in 2023, I've decided to put myself out there. I have a few popular recipes, you know. I think we met while I was sampling one of them.
Right, at Mega Mart.
Yeah, Pringles Taco Crisp.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that one's a nationally known one. They do some work with Massey as well. I'm a personal chef as well, you know, and I do meal prep on Sundays. So that's what I do, meal prepping, cook for you, you know. Anybody who wants me to cook for them, we can talk, you know.
Great stuff. Tell us about your company. What's it called?
All right, so this is 350 Degrees, founded last year. Our first event was at Freedom Street. What we do, or what we're focusing on right now, we're focusing on game shows and parties, big events. So Freedom Street was the first one. We're looking to go to Dream Weekend in August, and we have about 2 or 3 cooking shows lined up. So that's what we plan to do. We're not going the regular catering route.
All right. And today you prepared for us spicy wings. Yeah, next time I'm gonna need them atta.
No problem.
Oh, we're gonna work on that. But I loved the sauce that you made. I'm calling it the honey dip sauce. Yes. But I just want to say thank you for coming on as a collaborator of the Honey Pot show. I'm looking forward to doing more great stuff with you. Where can the people find you or contact you?
So it's Chef Bling on all platforms. Bling is spelled with 2 I's. That's the only thing weird about the name. So that's it, Chef Bling all platforms. I have a little YouTube channel, not big yet, but I try to
Listen, you have to start somewhere. You know. And can they call you?
Yeah, on my Instagram, my contact number is on my Instagram. You know, TikTok, you can DM me, and you know, you can DM me on Instagram as well.
All right, respect, Chef Bling. Thank you.